Hello everyone, welcome back to more Bridge. This is day 2 of the March Stars and Platinum Robot Invitational, where, it's a 3-day tournament of 3 day-longs, like the day-longs I usually play on BBO, but this monthly, I think, event, only players who are stars on BBO, which I don't know what that means, but they're recognized somehow as remarkable players, and anyone with 5 or more platinum points. If you have one of those two things, you're allowed to play. So instead of getting 21,000 entrants as the dailies often do, yesterday's got 730 or something like that. And I did very well. A 67% is good, but in one of the in one of the day longs that anyone can play in, 67 is good, but it gets you, I don't know. There's still going to be 1,000 people doing better than you. Something like that, because there are so many terrible players who play those. I'm sure there are many terrible players, but not. The average standard of play is much higher. And I came third. I could not have hoped to do so well. Third out of 700 something. Very pleased with my results. We already post-mortemed the boards yesterday, so I won't go into any of them in much detail. I did think one thing was funny, though, on this board here, where we played 5 diamonds, and I said it's just the most boring board in the world. Nobody would do anything but take exactly 11 tricks. And that was almost true. The board was played about 150 times. We can actually look at the results. All of them were. Show boards. How do I see how many times it was played? I guess I have to look at the Traveler. Yeah, 150 times. 152 people did exactly the same thing as me, and one person found a 12th trick. The joke was that he won the first trick with the king instead of the ace, which actually ends up mattering. You clearly can never double dummy avoid losing another club here, but this declarer did. He played it, and West didn't split with the 8 here. I guess if partner has 9, 10 doubleton, the 8 is a risk, and so West doesn't know what partner has, so he tries playing low, and he's wrong this time. And our declarer puts in the 7. An interesting play. I don't think especially a good one. But I suppose if West has led the queen of clubs, and you believe that he either has the queen and jack or queen doubleton, then the ace can never work. You'll always lose a club. So, I don't know, sure, play low and see if West has failed to find the split. Cute play. Anyway, so that was one result that we didn't see in the post-mortem yesterday that was easy to highlight today. And so we're in for another, let me get 16 boards of Just Declare, and I bet it'll take me an hour and a half like it did last time, so, if that's what you're here for, buckle up, you're going to get it. East overcalls a diamond, West raises. We have 7 points. Partner has 13 is 20. The opponents have 20. East, well, West's 2 diamonds shows around 6 to 9. Might say 6 to 10. Yeah, 6 to 10. So call that 8-ish on average. Means East has about 12-ish. West has led the 10 of diamonds. So East has certainly the jack. I do generally believe the opponent's honor leads, if nothing else. I don't trust them hugely in terms of what they signal, but their leads, and I think even their 4th best, they're pretty diligent about. So their leads I tend to believe. So East has the jack of diamonds. Could be king, queen, jack. Certainly possible. Could just be queen, jack. Could just be king, jack. West has the 9. I guess that's a point. West has 10 9 of diamonds and 1 other diamond, which could be the king or queen, but could be a low one. It would be nice if the opponents hadn't led a diamond, because then I could lead a club up to the king and pitch my last diamond on a club. But they have. So you could try to jump on the ace of diamonds, cross the ace of hearts, and lead a club up to the king. But they would just win the ace, cash their diamond, and like you haven't really gained anything. So I think you should just sort of give up on the diamond trick. But I don't know. Also, East probably has the ace of clubs anyway, so leading up to King Queen's not going to be that productive. The bigger question is how to handle the majors, assuming we lose 2 tricks in the minors. We can pitch 1 heart on a club. That leaves 2 hearts, which might be losers. We can ruff one of them quite easily, the other not so easily. I suppose also if spades are 4-0, we could have a little trouble roughing even 1 heart, but probably not. I think you're probably supposed to duck the first trick. It takes away the opponent's ability to use diamonds as an entry, which they might want to do to get some heart roughs once you start drawing trumps and roughing hearts. And there's not really any, like, downside. Unless you imagine you might actually get to pitch a diamond on a club, which A, seems unlikely, and B, pitching a heart on a club is also useful. So even if it does work out, it might not be worth anything. I think I'm ducking this diamond. It also might help us find out the diamond position. Oh, really? The fact that East ducked the diamond means he probably has king, queen, and jack. Because if West had king 10-9 or queen 10-9, East would be afraid that I might win something, right? So he would play the king or the queen. So we're pretty sure that West's diamond holding is 10-9x. Ace of clubs is good news. It means we can pitch 2 hearts on the clubs. It's also sort of bad news in that it means East probably has both spade honors. Well, actually, West should have another queen somewhere, either in hearts or spades, or maybe an ace, but probably a queen is more likely. So I'll put in the jack. Okay, it's the queen. Nice. So now we can claim. The robots won't let me claim. If I say I have them all, they don't believe me. Because I might forget to finesse in spades. But if I lead the 10, queen, yeah, now I can claim, right? Their point was I don't know that I'm getting the queen of spades. Maybe East played the ace from ace queen X or ace queen tight. But obviously that's not what's going to happen in real life. So I knew I had the tricks, and I could tell if I were playing against humans, I would say, I have all the tricks because I'm going to finesse in spades. You can't say that to the robots. And then, by the way, if I made that claim and the queen of spades actually was offside, the defenders would say, nope, we'll get a trick. And I'd be like, well, I guess you're right, you get a trick. You can't do that with the robots. So, I don't know. That hand seems pretty normal. Maybe a tiny bit above average because I got the spades right. But, that's the way almost everyone is going to play them, so it shouldn't be much above average. I don't think anybody is going to avoid losing a diamond. Like, even if you won the ace and played ace king of hearts heart rough, now the hearts are good to pitch 2 diamonds, but you can't draw trump first, so it's still not going to work. Yeah, this should be like a 53 or something. Very normal result, but a few oddballs might do worse. Anyway, 1, 2... Okay, partner bit of spade. East didn't open, West didn't overcall. Looks like it's going to be a straightforward one. Oh! Maybe not? If it goes ace and then another diamond... Okay. So... East does well here to overtake because otherwise the diamonds would be blocked. I was hopeful that the robots might just be doing something stupid, but of course they weren't. East might have stiff ace, I guess, would be like my real hope. Alright, well... The only thing to think about then is, should you finesse in hearts? We have 10 trumps, 7 ups at 3. And so normally you should definitely finesse against the king, because it's more likely that East has king X or king third than it is that West has specifically stiff king. Right? There's only one stiff king. There are two king X's and a king third. So much more likely. But, that doesn't mean you should always finesse. Sometimes the auction might tell you that the finesse is unlikely to work and the drop is more likely to work. Is that the case here? I don't think so. If anything, the auction is arguing even more in favor of the finesse, right? West had 5 diamonds to the king-queen. East had only 2. So any heart I'm thinking of, specifically the king, is more likely to be in East's hand than West's. And also, if West had king-queen 5th of diamonds and a useful-looking king, although I guess stiff king wouldn't look that useful, he might have found an overcall with king-queen 5th of diamonds and some other useful cards. So I think all signs point to the finesse. Could be wrong, but it's heavily in my favor, I think. King third. So East did cover, although it wasn't necessary and didn't make a difference. It saved me the guess. If East had played low, I still would have had a chance to go wrong by playing the ace. But East... I wonder why you would play the king there, actually. What holding were you imagining where that was necessary? I can't think of one. And if partner has like stiff king, it'll be kind of embarrassing. Stiff queen, it'll be embarrassing to have played the king, right? Seems like a mistake to me, but it isn't the kind that Gibb would usually make, so I must be misunderstanding something. Five hearts doubled. West doubled for takeout. East voluntarily bid to the 4 level after partner's 4 heart call. And then West, it looks like we're going to go down exactly 1, right? Assuming they find the club caches. They don't. Problem is, even if they don't do that, there's really very little hope for us. Even if I somehow could produce a spade winner, which I can't, I couldn't do anything useful with it. Pitching a club from dummy accomplishes nothing. So we want to rough both of the spades. The only layout where you could possibly, genuinely avoid going down here would be if one player has the singleton ace of clubs. You could strip the spades and diamonds and then throw them in with a club. They'd have to give you a rough sluff. You could pitch a club from hand and rough in dummy. That seems extremely unlikely on the auction. But maybe we could convince opponents to defend incorrectly anyway? I'm going to win this with the ace, I guess. Rough this. I know nobody's over roughing, so I could rough low here. I could also rough with the ace. I have enough trump, but I guess I'll rough low. This one I'll rough high, just in case something strange happens. Cash diamonds ending in dummy, and play a club. Maybe they'll win it and play a spade. Seems unlikely. Yeah, indeed. Oh well. This is the only thing I could really try. It would be almost disrespectful to try that against humans instead of just conceding the 2 club tricks. Not actually disrespectful, of course, if you have time, there's no harm in trying it. But if you're playing in like a team game where it's a long match and you want to save time on this board so you have more time on future boards, this would be a time to concede 2 tricks rather than fooling around. Anyway, we're in 3 diamonds. Heart overcall on my left. Heart lead is good news. East raises. Okay. So this is actually, in some ways, almost an example out of a book. Except I don't know what the answer is. It's clear the kind of problem that this would be if it were in a book, though. Is you only have 1 entry to dummy, and there's 2 finesses you should take. You would like to take. If this were a book, it would be a little bit more clear. Like I would only have 2 clubs in each hand instead of 4 here and 3 there. Because then, like, you're never ever getting the king of clubs unless you finesse it, right? Here, I might drop the king of clubs by just playing ace, low, low, and then the king falls. Doubleton, for example. But in a book, if you only had, like, the club finesse always produces a trick if it succeeds. Whereas the diamond finesse, even if it succeeds, might not produce a trick. Because maybe the queen was falling doubleton anyway. Or maybe East has queen 4th, in which case you're still losing a diamond. And so you should finesse in clubs. I think that's probably true here. There's no universe where we're roughing the last club, because dummy's trump is the lowest one, and at least one opponent would be able to overruff. I suppose it might be the opponent holding queen 3rd of diamonds, and it could cost them a trick. But they probably wouldn't let me get away with that. So do we just draw the trumps immediately to make sure our club plays don't get roughed? Or do we take the club finesse so that we threaten to rough the 4th round of diamonds in some unlikely layouts? 4th round of clubs, not diamonds. I don't think that threat is very realistic. I want to get rid of those trumps. Queen 3rd onside, the finesse would have produced a trick. I believe we duck a club first. And now it's actually a little bit interesting. Because if the club finesse is on, there are actually some layouts where it's best to cash the diamond right away. We could take all of the tricks if, like, East has, let's say, king 4th of clubs, and also happens to have all of the spade honors. We could squeeze him, but only if we cash the diamond first, forcing him to part with either a useful spade or an important club. But that's a rather unlikely layout, and much more likely is that the club finesse loses, but the suit is 3-3, in which case I need to hang on to this trump so I can rough the last heart. Or do I? Are they? Well, okay, the last spade. Or they'll have. I don't remember how many hearts they've played. I think actually they might be out, but they could tap me with spades as well. So I think cashing a diamond here is a bad idea. I mean, Could work. What do I know about their shapes and hands? East was 3-3 in the red suits. Had Queen of Diamonds. Nothing? Question mark in hearts? Maybe the Queen. I don't remember. Probably something in spades, or West might have led the suit if he had like King, Queen, Jack. West has overcalled with some heart card. I mean, I don't know. You could also, if this were an imp event, I think it would be wrong to take the club finesse. You should first lay down the ace of clubs in case West has King Doubleton, and then lead up to the 9, because you can afford to lose one more club, but you can't afford to lose 2. However, this is not an imp event. This is match points. Every trick counts. And if East has King 3rd, you really would like to pick it up. I don't think there's anything inconsistent with East having King 3rd. It seems like that's possible. So I think we should try for it. Okay, East pitched a club. So the clubs were 3-3 after all. So all of this deliberation was sort of for nothing. Anything was going to work. Except, well, no. Don't cast the last diamond before taking the club finesse. That wasn't going to work. But I don't think much of the field was going to do that. This should be a pretty normal result. Well, no. This should be below average. Like a 35, maybe? Because a substantial portion of the field is going to try the diamond finesse, I bet. I think they're wrong. I don't think you should do it. But I'm not sure. Because in clubs, there's also a possibility that you can pick up the king eventually. If it's Doubleton. It's just that the Queen of Diamonds is more likely to be Doubleton than the King of Clubs is. Is it? They have 6 of each. Why do I think that's more likely? I guess it's not. The difference is that I was not thinking at the time I was talking about this that I would be ducking a club. Once you duck a club, the situation in the 2 suits is pretty similar. You're taking a second round finesse against either the king in clubs or the queen in diamonds. And they started with 6 in both cases. A first round club finesse would be less likely. Interesting. Anyway, I think it's actually about to toss up which finesse you take. And the field will probably try the diamond finesse. So I don't think I'll do very well on that board. Maybe more like 25 or 30, not 35. We're in 3-0. Opponent's silent. East had an easy chance to overcall and West didn't. It's nice to have 2 heart stops. 5 clubs, 2 hearts, and 2 spades is 9 tricks. So the contract is not in danger unless I endanger it. Actually, is it a little bit more subtle than that? We don't have any entries to the south hand after playing on clubs. And so we might find it a little bit difficult to cash the last heart. But I think if that's the case, I'm still happy. If they don't let me in my hand with a heart, then that gives me time to play on spades. And we would then lose at most a club, 2 diamonds, and a spade. That would still be 9 tricks. Okay. I mean, I think taking a spade finesse here would be somewhat reckless. Maybe I'm just not enough of a match point player. But it's kind of interesting. Like, what do you do about spades? Maybe I should have cashed the ace before I played a club. just in case the queen falls stiff. I guess I still can, because I can cross the hand with the club. So let's analyze the spade suit. How often does a finesse produce a trick versus cost tricks? It produces tricks anytime West has... Well, okay. I can afford to cash the ace first, unless West has all 5, but in that case, like... Actually, even then? No. So if West has all 5 spades, cashing the ace costs me a trick. But more likely is that East has singleton queen. I think. Maybe that's not more likely. I'm not very good at, like, the theory of suit splits. Richard Pavlicek's website should have a thing that tells me the answer to this. I'm sure you can find it many other places, but I go to rpbridge.net for my bridge calculators. I should be able to put this on screen. If I just look at my... Where's my bridge calculators? Suit break calculator. That's kind of... Is that what I want? I think it would work. What about this card combination? What does this even tell you? I don't know. Very confusing. So suit break calculator. East and West each have, I think, 13 vacant spaces, right? We don't know anything special about their hands. Yeah. Number of missing cards. We're missing 5. Okay. So, West having 5 happens 2% of the time. East having 1 happens 14% of the time, but only 2.83% of the time is it specifically the queen. So yes, East having the stiff queen is more likely than East having none. It sounds obvious when I say it out loud, but I'm never quite sure about, like, comparing specific versus generic splits. Okay, so fine. You want to cash the ace. If we assume then that both follow small, then the finesse gains whenever... I guess maybe I should leave that webpage up, huh? The finesse gains anytime West has queen 3rd or queen 4th. So there are... How many queen 4ths are there? There are 4 of them. Because one of these ways is the small is 4 small. So that would be, 4 times this, which is about 10%. 11%, something like that. Closer to 11, I guess. And also when West has queen 3rd, which happens fairly often. Should be about half of this, I think. Because how many ways are there for West to have to have 3 small versus... Three small is less likely than queen 3rd. So it should be something like a little bit more than half of this. So call it like 18% or something, plus the 10% for this. About 28% of the time, the finesse gains tricks. And it loses tricks anytime East has queen X or queen 3rd, which is the other half of this, and similar amounts here. So these West's queen thirds and East's queen thirds cancel out. And we're comparing West's queen fourth against East's queen X. And queen X is more likely. Right? Than queen fourth? There's the same number of queen fourths as queen X's. There's 4 of each. But the queen X's are more likely because they're in a 3-2 split. So in the end, I think the finesse actually is slightly below... Like, slightly... It's not just that it's dangerous to risk the contract. It's worse than 50%. Because you give up on dropping East's stiff queen. Doubleton queen, I should say. Huh. Still, I'll hang on to the spades in case they happen to be winners. They can see the dummy, so they know they're never going to pitch spades while I run the clubs. So I may as well just get going on the spades. Okay. I won't just claim 9 tricks here because who knows, maybe they're idiots and they let me have a diamond somehow. It seems unlikely. Okay, good. Good. Queen third on my right. So the finesse would not have succeeded. It would have blown the contract. West overcalls 2 clubs and leads a club against 2 no trump. Well, I imagine the 9 is winning here. That's sort of nice. Oh, the jack. Okay. Well, I'm fairly sure I need to play a club back to the 8. Because that sets up 2 tricks for me. I guess I could try a spade instead. That also sets up 2 tricks. But doesn't immediately give the opponents a trick. Yeah, that's probably better. So win this, spade. Great. Continue clubs? Thank you. So now, if the diamonds break, I'm pretty much just cashing out, right? 2 more spades, a club, and 5 diamonds is 8 more tricks. But what if the diamonds don't break? It would be nice to play on hearts at that point, I think. Just to kind of like buy time and see if maybe something cool happens. Okay, nobody dropped the 10 or jack, which would have been interesting because our spots are pretty good. I think you play the queen here? Maybe you don't, because it would be nice to have entries to the north hand for hearts. But I don't think that's right. Okay, the diamonds are good. Which means I can cash out and lose only 2 tricks. Whereas if I fool around in hearts, I give them a chance to take 3 tricks. And the chance of them making a mistake and somehow taking fewer than 2 instead seems quite unlikely. West is never going to give up a club he doesn't have to because he already knows about the club break. Okay. Just claim. 3, 4, 6 more tricks. I guess. Yeah, and of course the 2 was never going to set up. Yeah, if I'd screwed around in hearts, nothing good really was going to happen. Okay. Pretty normal result on that board, I would think. Well, I guess if you played things differently, the opponents might find their hearts sooner. Because I beat par, right? Obviously, everyone's getting a club lead, but even after this point, you should only make one over trick, and they let me have 2. I don't think I did anything genius, but maybe not everyone plays a low spade from hand at this point, and so West might not. If we test the diamonds first, for example, West might realize that we really have to go after hearts, and maybe he would find that switch. So we should be, I don't know, 60 at least there, I would think. Well, I don't know about at least. Maybe it's just average, but we have a chance. 1 no trump, all pass. We have a spade stopper. 2 tricks in each red suit is 5, and a club is 6. We could certainly set up another trick in hearts by forcing out the queen. We could try for more than one trick in clubs or hearts, like low to the 10 of hearts might win the trick, and then you can go after clubs. That's probably the right thing to do. They also might find a diamond switch. That would be good for them. Club switch, not so good, I think. I actually want to unblock the jack here so that I can run the 9 and have it hold later, I think. Yeah. In case East has king 4th. There's now that the heart finesse is less obviously good because, yeah, I don't think we should do it. I think we should play it low to the king. Because the clubs set up a trick immediately, for sure, and possibly more tricks. And then I can take the heart finesse this way if I want. Okay, both offside, unlucky. Alright, but they exited. I was going to take the heart finesse this way, so it didn't cost them anything to exit a heart, but it certainly helped me relax. So if East hadn't switched to a club, I was probably playing a low heart to the 10 and would go down, or would take fewer tricks at least. So this might be above average. Not sure. In some sense, I didn't get anything wrong, right? You were always losing 2 clubs if you play the suit, I guess. And I got as few heart losers as I could. Yeah. Okay, that seems like a decent result then. Not great, but should be above average. 1 no trump again. Same auction? Yes, except this time I'm 4th seed. Jack of spades led. I said I believe in opponent's honor leads. I don't think he would do this with Queen Jack very often. Singleton Jack seems like weird against no trump, but the robots don't think the way people do, and they lead singleton honors a lot more. I think I should play the king and run the 9. I suppose you could duck a diamond first. But I don't know. I think I'm going to just take the finesse right away. Good. So now we can play a diamond. Small. Oh, you got me. Let's see. Shit. I don't have a late entry to dummy. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, it does. Because if I could... Yeah, if I had unblocked the 10 of spades, but I didn't want to do that because I thought East might have all four. Very funny. Well, I guess I still want a dummy entry to play on clubs. So I kind of have to win this with the ace. Cash spades to put them under a little bit of discard pressure. West pitches 8-5 of clubs. That I don't lend too much credence to. I don't know for sure what it means. Okay. Hang on to that 7. You might need a beer later. Seems pretty unlikely you're getting the dummy, though. They got me. If I played ace and then ducked, instead of ducked and then ace, could have gotten 3 diamond tricks. West has both clubs, okay. Because, of course, when I tried to duck the diamond, I would have put in the 10, covering West's 9, and won the trick. Or West could have played the queen, and I would duck. And then later I could play low to the king 10. Interesting. That might be a suit combination to remember. Obviously, like, I kind of bungled it by losing my spade entry to dummy. I should have thought about that. I was thinking about it when I was wondering whether to win with the king or the ace. It would be nice to preserve the king as a late entry to dummy. But I didn't think about the 9 and 8 as late entries to dummy. And actually, once East puts the 7 on this trick, I can afford the 10. And I should have. Because 9, 8, 6 are still good enough to hold the lead, and the 10 is just getting in the way. This was the misplay that I should have seen without even thinking about it. The diamond play is kind of funny and something I should learn from, but I don't really feel bad about missing it. This one is the kind of thing I try to avoid. But I just wasn't paying attention to East 7 and played too quickly after without thinking through what it meant. Okay. Any chance you want to play the king on this? Yeah, I thought not. I don't have any idea who has the king. My guess would be West, but I don't have a lot of evidence. The main issue is what to do with all these heart losers. We can pitch 1 on a spade. I'd like to ruff 2. I don't think we're going to get to pitch any on clubs. If I'm going to ruff 2, I'm not going to get to use these trumps for much of anything. But that's life, I guess. Do I need to unblock the spades first? To make sure that when I'm in dummy... Because I might only get to dummy once. And it might be next time I'm on lead. If I play a heart, hoping to set up a ruff, West might win, play a diamond to the queen, ace, low. Now I'm in dummy for the last time and the spades are blocked. I think my entries to hand are relatively plentiful. I can afford to unblock this before I play a heart. Happy to see the queen. Okay, East has that, fine. There are 2 trumps outstanding. I believe East has both of them, but I don't have a proof. I'll try a spade. Okay, claim. I have the rest. Yes, East did have both of them. Okay, I mean, can't really do better than that. This should be tied for top. I don't know how good that'll be. Probably decent, though. 65, 70? Both opponents are past hands. East even could have overcalled cheaply at the 1 level, but didn't. Okay. Well, I may just kind of go with the flow on this hand. It doesn't look like there's much opportunity to make a hugely impactful plan. The 9, huh? The 9. Should I have covered that? Because if East has 4, then they're king 8, 3, 2, and I want to finesse against the 8. But I think I need to take some roughs at some point, so I think I just should not assume that that's the case. I don't know. They might get a heart rough. Who cares? Just lets me pitch my club on a heart. I don't mind. West did have 4, it looks like. Claim. I'll draw the last trump and pitch my club on a heart. If I'd covered the 9 of spades with the 10... Let me actually... So I play 10, king, ace. If you try to finesse that 8 of spades, I don't know if you're actually going to succeed. You definitely can finesse it, but you need those trumps, don't you? Like, say you tried this. Queen, finding out about the 8. And you say, okay, I'll work on the diamonds. West probably should duck this, double dummy. And I think you continue. I suppose West could also win this and play a heart. Yeah, actually. Either way works. If he wins it and plays a heart, he gets his spade trick anyway. If he ducks it and wins the second round... he can play the king of clubs and probably has to. No, he can do whatever he wants, just not another diamond. Yeah, I guess. Because the club is just going nowhere. As long as East is patient with the ace of hearts. we still have a heart to lose, and we can't get a pitch. Yeah, okay. So, I don't know. I don't think you could do a lot better there. Couldn't do a lot worse either. So it should be a pretty middling board. Partner has a lot of hearts he didn't mention. Just, I don't have any objections. It's a fine way to bid the hand. Just a bit of a surprising dummy. Meanwhile, I have all these minor suit cards that I have no clear way to dispose of except by roughing them with dummies high trumps. So I guess that's what I'm going to do and end up losing a couple spades. I'll put in the jack here. West might well have the queen, but probably not the ace. Great. So club first. Heart pitching a club. Right? Can I actually rough all of my diamonds in dummy? Ace of diamonds rough. Ace of clubs diamond rough. Heart? Probably over roughed, right? Maybe not. But like the club is never going to be good for anything, and it's, well, yeah, I guess that's true. It should be easier to rough the last diamond than to rough the last club, just because we started with more clubs than diamonds by one. Okay, so heart pitching club. Diamond to the ace and rough. Club. Not 100% sure yet what to do. King of clubs could be right. Cashing that before they get a chance to pitch it on the last heart. But if they rough it and lead trump, it's bad news for me. I think I'll try the club. It's a little greedy, but this is match points. Punished. Now the trump finesse might actually be something. Although I don't think it actually is. Right? Say you're as lucky as you could possibly be. The queen of spades is led, and East has king X remaining. West has 2 small remaining. Queen, king, ace. 9, drawing the trump. You're still losing a diamond trick. And at that, East doesn't actually have to cover. It could go queen, small, small, small. And now you're stuck in dummy. You have to lead a heart rough with, I guess, the 9. I guess that would be okay. So even at that, though, you're losing 1 trick. And the alternative line definitely loses 1 trick, but might not have to be quite as lucky. Because what if we play a heart roughed with the ace, diamond rough? Now, if East has the king of spades, you're still picking it up. But you don't also risk losing a diamond trick if you try run. Like if you lead the queen and finesse it and that fails, you're losing a spade and a diamond. I might be losing only 1 spade, depending on how well I can guess things. I think this is right. A general principle in cross roughs is once the opponents start threatening to over rough, you want to rough high first and then low. It's not always the case, but it's a good rule of thumb. Okay, East over roughs with the king. So the 9 is a winner now. What do we know about everyone's shape? The hearts were 3-3. East had only 2 clubs. And in diamonds, didn't East have 3? That can't be. No. I roughed 2 of them successfully. And also East pitched 1. So he had 4. Actually, do I even know that East is out of diamonds? I don't. Maybe he has more. Because if East's last card is the 8 of spades, I should put in the 7. And if it isn't, then West has it, and I should put in the 9. Okay, let's reconstruct the play. Heart lead, Jack, Ace, ruff. Club to the Queen, King of Hearts, club pitch. Ace of Diamonds, diamond ruff, heart ruff, winning. Or did I play a club? It doesn't much matter. I took the second diamond ruff and got back to hand with either the heart ruff or the club, whichever one I didn't use before. So I've played 3 rounds of diamonds. I tried to cash the king of clubs instead of roughing the last diamond. East ruffed and played a heart? I must be wrong about how many hearts I used, because he shouldn't have any hearts in this universe. Heart to the ace, queen of clubs, king of hearts, diamond to the ace, diamond ruff, club to the ace, diamond... I'm confused. I don't know. I'm going to put in the 7. I don't know if it's right. It was! Okay, show me how I actually played that hand, please. Club to the queen, king of hearts, ace of diamonds, diamond ruff. Club to the king. Oh, of course, I didn't cash the king of clubs yet. I played a 3rd diamond. Nope, I did. Really? Yeah, because I didn't want someone to pitch it on... I didn't want East to pitch it on the 3rd round of hearts. Okay. Yeah, double dummy, it sure would have been better to play a diamond, I agree. Yeah, and so at this point I didn't... No, I did know the diamond. Of course, I forgot I had just... At the end of all that, I played the last diamond. So I knew East was out of every suit but spades. But, you know, the 5 and 8 still could have been switched, so it was kind of a guess. Yeah, I think this is basically 50-50 here. Okay, well, an okay score. You could do better, but I think a lot of BBO will maybe do worse. Maybe? I don't know. 3 no trump. Quite good hands here, huh? 6 diamonds, 4 cards in the majors is 10. I'd like to get some club tricks. And maybe there's some squeeze in the end. We're definitely not ducking anything. I think. Can always duck later. So king now. Cross. I hope they play the ace on this club. If it goes low to the king winning, it's going to make me nervous to play another round. Okay, good. So, I now have exactly one loser. Yes? All the diamonds are winning. And from Dummy's perspective, the king of spades and the ace of hearts fill out everything but the clubs. The problem is, in several suits, probably both opponents have guards. If they hadn't continued hearts, I could use the hearts as a pivot for a double squeeze, but even that wouldn't be super good. Maybe I could have played for West to have any 4 clubs, in which case you would have a compound squeeze around clubs, but with the ace of hearts being removed, none of those are going to work. It's an important entry. You can try a simple squeeze in spades and clubs. Doesn't seem likely to work, but it could. I don't think either opponent has both guards in hearts. I think the queen and 10 are split. But, so something I'm not very good at that I'm sort of coming to understand a little bit in the last year or so is called a guard squeeze. And I don't know if this is a situation, it has some of the hallmarks of where a guard squeeze could apply, so let's see. My understanding of a guard squeeze is that in a situation where you might otherwise have a double squeeze, but the entry in the doubly guarded suit has been removed, which here is the case for hearts. We might have a double squeeze around hearts, except the ace is gone. And you need an entry in the doubly guarded suit for any double squeeze to function. The guard squeeze can make up for that lack of entry if in one of the other suits you have a potential finessing position, meaning that here West can't afford to just keep like Jack X of spades or stiff Jack. Can't afford to pitch down to a 2-card spade holding or a 1-card spade holding. I'm a little confused still, but like you could imagine maybe like I guess. Yeah. Does that make sense? Anyway, sometimes you can make up for the deficit of not having good enough, having an entry in the threat suit, the doubly guarded threat suit, by having a finessing position in one of the other suits. But I don't think that would make sense. Well, would it? Okay, let's see. There's other conditions for a guard squeeze, like you need to have a winner in one of the other suits, which I think in this case clubs, and I do have a winner in the north hand, and that is actually useful, I think. But maybe it's a winner in the south hand you have to have, I don't really know. So let's imagine a situation, let's say East has... I'm so bad at visualizing these. They both have a heart guard. Let's say East has the long clubs. West has long spades. But I guess East would then also have like let's say West has Queen fifth of spades and East has Jack third. Then if I cash all of the diamonds, what would I be pitching from the south hand? 3 clubs. I guess that's it. So everyone would have to come down to 5 cards. South would have all majors. East, who I gave the long clubs, has to come down to 2 clubs and 2 hearts, which means he can only keep 1 spade. Yeah, so if the spade positions were reversed, I could finesse West. I could guard squeeze West in that way. Okay, so well, what if the spade positions were reversed? Let's say that West had the long spades. No, that doesn't make sense because I need to finesse South. I can only finesse towards the 10. So West has long clubs, I guess is what I should say. Suppose that were the case. Then on the last diamond, East doesn't have a problem. He can come down to 2 hearts and 3 spades. West, though, has to keep 2 clubs, 2 hearts, and only 1 spade. Then I could cash the ace of spades and finesse him. Not 2 hearts. We'll have played 1 more round of hearts, so everyone has all those things minus a heart. Yeah, I think that actually does work. If West has 4 or more clubs, or I suppose he could have 10-9 remaining at this point. Or Jack 10, rather. Yes, and the presence of the Queen of Clubs is what gives Dummy a safe discard on the last diamond. So I think there is a guard squeeze here. It's not guaranteed to manifest. But if you jump on the Ace of Hearts, cash all diamonds, and not the club, you might find yourself getting a little bit lucky. Let's count carefully, though. Okay, so East has pitched a club. Which means he had short diamonds. Well, I mean, obviously he had... The fact that he pitched didn't follow means he had short diamonds. He had specifically 1. He's pitched a club and a spade. And a heart. 2 spades are gone. Club, spade, heart. 3 spades are gone. 10 of hearts. Nine of spades, okay. Well, the 9 of hearts is not going to be a winner now. And only 1 club was pitched by anyone, so the 8 of clubs is not a winner either. They still have the 9. No, the Jack. Ace dropping Jack? From West! I need West to play it. Okay, it worked. So, there was actually no guard squeeze here, because East was the only one guarding both clubs and spades. So it played out just like a simple squeeze. But I think I was right. Can I, if I don't know what this thing, am I allowed to edit hands in this? Edit, yes. So, yeah, those are all fine. But suppose that I swap... How do I... Oh, I see. Okay, I don't quite understand. What am I doing? Okay, I don't quite understand this interface. Oh, I see. It's saying these are cards you could give to that person because you've deallocated them elsewhere. So I was imagining that West had all the clubs, which he does not. But let's take those away and give them to West. And also one spade. So I need to take a spade honor. So I need to take that away and give you that. And you can have these. I think this is the situation I was imagining. I guess it would be a little bit clearer if we did this. Yeah, done. So I was imagining, let's see, it was heart to the play. Oh, I have to tell you the contract? You're so picky. Heart to the king, small. Diamond, club. We play the king, ace. Jack of hearts, ace, small, small. And indeed, it says if you play a club now, you're toast. You need to hang on to that queen of clubs so that South has a safe club discard later on. The opponents have not much trouble discarding at first. Because they only need to keep one heart each, right? We're pitching clubs. West only... Yeah, West can pitch a spade because, remember, East spade is enough to guard the suit. And we lead a diamond here. East doesn't mind. He pitches a club, no problem. Now I pitch a club. And West is in a lot of trouble. Right? Oh, no, he's not. Because the heart is not necessary? Hang on. Wait, why? What's happening? Oh, I guess... Because as soon as West pitches a spade here, East is now the sole guardian of spades. And so if West pitches a heart, then East is the sole guardian of spades and hearts. And is easily squeezed by the queen of clubs. So, but if West pitches a spade... I don't quite understand this. You still can't pitch a club. If you pitch a heart, East is squeezed in the majors. If you pitch a spade, East is finessed in spades. Huh. I'm not sure if this was a guard squeeze or not. I think it was. Maybe it was a double guard squeeze. I don't really understand. Ugh, I'll have to get out the book again. Anyway, I'm glad I played it the way I did. It happened, the situation was simpler than what I was looking for, but I think my line was fine in both cases, both layouts. East has doubled for takeout, and West has left it in, despite, apparently, a flimsy trump holding. We're losing 2 hearts and a diamond for sure. Probably a second diamond. East probably has the spade queen. So it looks like we would lose a trick there. We don't necessarily, though. You don't want to play rough low here. It could get over roughed, and we have good enough trumps that we can finesse if necessary, even if the suit is 4-0. So the ace is perfectly safe to rough with. Now, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure we should take the backwards finesse in spades. West has shown nothing but weakness, and East's takeout double suggests cards in spades. Although it is weird that he has pitched 2 of them. We know his shape is 5 hearts and 1 club. Therefore, 7 cards in spades and diamonds. If 4 spades, then by pitching, you've, ruined your life? For what reason? If you have the queen, it seems very strange to be so eager to ditch them. When you have diamonds, you clearly have no need for. So I wonder if East actually has 4 small spades, and the queen of spades is West's real card. His one useful card. I was going to try the cute backwards finesse where you lead the jack, even though that doesn't set up a trick, but then you finesse against the 10 on the way back, and that's a way with a holding like King Jack 9 that you can make a trick even if you know the queen is sitting over the jack. You can hope the 10 is vulnerable. But East's discards just make me think that's not the case. East's hearts were ace, king, queen, 5th. We had the jack, I think. Stiff spade. Huh. Well, we can play a diamond to the king first. This way, if East has bared the queen of spades, he'll be end played when we lose to him, at least. He'll have to lead either a surely you don't have queen X of spades remaining. Okay. So I got the spades wrong. But that end play... I guess I didn't even have to play a diamond to the king. East would still be end played. A diamond lead would be just as fatal if I hadn't led the king. But weird. Why were you so eager to get rid of your spades? And the backwards finesse would have worked. Right? Jack, queen, ace, and then finesse the 10. The funny thing is, that wouldn't have helped. Because the end play was just as good. Right? If I get the spades right, I don't lose a spade. Congratulations. But I still lose 2 diamonds because there's nowhere to put them. So I guess for that reason, the backwards finesse is just a bad idea, given that East has pitched so many spades. Oh, East, of course, doesn't have a bunch of diamonds here, right? What am I thinking? Yeah, 4, 5, 3, 1. That makes sense. Huh. Yes, those pitches were somewhat unpleasant, I suppose. Yeah, but I mean, at this point, it's going to say the jack of spades is no better than what I did. Even though you can solve the spade suit, because it ends up ruining the diamonds. So I think we should do quite a bit better than the field there. I know this is the Platinum and Stars event and not just a random BBO day long where you have all kinds of mouth breathers playing. But I mean, the overall caliber of play is still not super high. I don't expect I expect a lot of people to just I think when you're playing on BBO, you should sort of think of every player as if they're a robot who like just kind of does things on autopilot. That won't be true, but on average, it'll be close. And the autopilot line in spades is load the jack. Although, actually, as long as you cash the ace first, you're fine. Load the jack actually works. It's the same thing I did. The fact that I led a diamond to the king and saw the end play coming doesn't make the end play work any better for me than it does for someone who just, like, fell into it. And, like, drawing all the trump and then trying the spade finesse seems as good as anything. East should have been pitching hearts instead of spades. And then it's not clear what I would do. Huh, but he didn't. Okay, well, maybe it won't be such a great result. Like, I mean, above average, but not, like, phenomenal, probably. West opens, East responds. They both bid hearts. The clubs here would eventually let you pitch a heart, and then you could rough that heart. But of course, the opponents will have something to say about that. They'll be roughing clubs too soon. And if you draw trump... excuse me. If you draw trump, then you don't have any trumps left to rough the hearts with. So that doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. I mean, also there are entry problems with even cashing all the clubs. If you have trump control issues, you might have trouble enjoying all the clubs even. So I think you should duck trick one. It makes the hearts toxic to the opponents, at least to West. And, you know, if they continue with a diamond, that's sad, but I don't think it's really any worse for me than winning the ace of hearts and just letting them... I don't know. Yeah, let's let them win this. Maybe they'll continue. Wouldn't that be nice? Spades I'm fine with. Okay, I don't get a rough. But I don't need one, because they're leading a heart, you big dummy! Got him! Okay, well, I claim making 3. Draw the trump. Lose a diamond. No, don't lose a diamond. I mean, you could, but cash the clubs first is a bit more cautious line. Lead the queen. It might win. You never know. Unlucky. And I'll rough in and cash out. Wow, that was way better result than I hoped for. We got only 2 spade losers and only 1 heart loser, both of which were very much in doubt. And we had enough trump control to cash everything. I'm thrilled. Well, no, nobody overcalled a spade. Not a huge surprise. We have 4 heart tricks, 2 aces, and, you know, some other miscellaneous stuff, odds and ends. In diamonds, we are guaranteed eventually to get a second trick, or a single trick, if we are given enough time. I don't know yet whether we have enough time, but eventually you could just play the king, the jack, and the 9 on the first 3 rounds. The opponents can win the ace, the queen, and the 10, but your 8 will beat the 7. So that's a way you could set up one more trick. And, I mean, I think that's a good idea. Playing on spades, you are likely to produce 1 extra trick, but almost certainly no more than 1. And in the meantime, you're letting the opponent score some spades, and you might actually not get any if you're unlucky. Yeah, I think Like, you know, if I play diamonds, the opponents can cash some clubs, whatever, but they're not going to bankrupt me. And if the diamonds are positioned a little bit more favorably, we might not have to lose 3 diamonds in order to win 1. I will duck a club. At least 1. Not sure after that. Okay, you can have 1 more. Ooh. Now the 10 is suddenly in danger. The thing is, I don't have entries back to my hand anymore. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm going to cash the ace of clubs. The opponents will have to let me in somehow or other. Probably. Hopefully. Or play spades or something. 8? Nope. Okay, I have 2 cards in hand that win. King of Spades. Boy, they are such good players. Sometimes, you know? I'm going to get ruined here. I mean, if I play low to this, they have to play another spade. The problem is, only if West has King, Queen, X can I actually take all the tricks after that. I think you have to play low. Ace is just never, ever going to work. You play low and hope West has King, Queen, X. I haven't really been counting. Oops, get out of here. I think West has led the King and doesn't have the Queen at all. I think East has it. Oh. Okay. Well, I have all these winners in my hand that I can't cash, and that certainly was a possibility. But I didn't like blocking the hearts to play on I don't know. I mean, this one did not work out well for me. Anyone who just leads spades is going to have a great time. Can take 3 spade tricks. 2? 2. In addition to the 5 cashing tricks you started with. But I don't know. I mean, the fact that the diamonds were so unfavorable is a little unlikely. And the fact that the spades were so favorable, pretty unlikely. I mean, a little unlikely at least. I feel like what I did was right, but it's not going to score well. I also, I guess, could have not ducked so many clubs. I could have won the second one, as it turns out, because East doesn't have any entries. That would be a way to make it. Well, this hand looks somewhat straightforward. Win the king, take a heart finesse, pitch the spade on a diamond if the hearts are 4-1, and like eventually take a club finesse. I guess even the club finesse requires a little bit more elaboration, because if the suit is 4-1, you're still losing 1. Still, I don't think there's any reason not to take a heart finesse right away. Does it matter what I play here? Could influence which trick I end up winning the next... which hand I win the next trick in? Okay. Hearts being 4-1 is a danger sign. We don't want to just rough a diamond right now, do we? We don't want to cash the ace of diamonds pitching a spade. That would be very reckless. And there's no need to rough a diamond. We're thinking about this hand from North's point of view, and We just need to set up the clubs. I think it's a spade over. If this goes king rough, it's a little sad, but not the end of the world. I kind of have to take the heart finesse now, right? I might have trouble getting back to these clubs if they're 4-1, but... But, because I didn't... Right. I carefully didn't cash this ace of diamonds. I now have it as a useful stopper. I can pitch a spade from dummy, unblock the clubs, East can't ruff, he's out, and get back to dummy for the good clubs. Okay. I think that went pretty well. Should beat average on that one. Some players will be too eager to draw trumps or too eager to cash the ace of diamonds. 54. Really? 39? I think I did that pretty well. Is West pitching clubs at some tables or something? What? Well, I guess if you were to give up on the possibility of the club finesse, you could play ace and then 10 of clubs. You could draw all the trump. But then you can't cash the ace of diamonds. I don't know. This doesn't... Really? It says you make 2. Spade. It says the 4 of hearts is fine, but the 10 of hearts isn't. Also, you can't afford to take a club finesse. Ah. No, wait. Why is the 10 of hearts a problem? It's weird. Huh. Okay, I don't know. I thought that one was pretty good. This one was a disaster, which, yeah, fair enough. 8 was a disaster. Yeah. Screwing up those diamonds did hurt. Ace and duck is better. And I messed up the spades that would have given me the entries to the diamonds. Any great scores? Not really. Some 70s and 80s. Board 9? Just remembering to ruff all your hearts? Okay. Well done. So where's the one where I tried the guard squeeze? What hand was that? 12? Yeah. 60%. I mean, there isn't really any play on this one besides the simple, like, besides playing for some squeeze. And because it's a simple squeeze, it doesn't end up mattering what order you cash stuff in. You could afford to cash the Queen of Clubs first. Okay. Board. We just looked at board 9, didn't we? Why was it my best hand? Oh, because I roughed all the cards. Genius level play. Board 11 did quite well to make 5 here. Could have made 6, right? If I had just not cashed the club. I think what I did made sense. But I think like we did well just for the overall plan of a cross rough. Seems pretty obvious, but some people must not get it. Board 6, interesting maybe. Yeah, just because they didn't cash their hearts. Board 10 scored well. I don't think I did anything on this one. It's a mystery. And 14. Just ducking trick 1 is pretty much the only play I made. Gave me everything else. All right. Well, not going to be finishing third today, but, you know, my overall score should still be highish. I'll probably remember to play in tomorrow's, but I don't take my BBO bridge too seriously. Sometimes I'm just busy or forget or whatever, so no promises, but I plan to. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.